everybody and welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. I hope you're well, you've had a nice Saturday. First of all, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to all my new subscribers. Now I've got 1,969 and a few minutes ago it looked like it had gone to 1,970. So thank you very much. And we went out today after my daughter had had her dance class, and I just wanted to show you this video because in this vintage shop it's got the chairs which are in my lounge. So you'll be pleased to see that I've got a better setup for my videos. I'm so excited about this. I think my husband thinks I'm being a bit crazy, but I'm so pleased. We went to a camera place. The man came across like he really didn't enjoy his job, but after 101 questions from me, maybe he was getting a bit fed up with me. But he showed me some different things, and I've gone for a little contraption that just sits on top of my husband's tripod. So rather than me hanging my phone on a macrame hanger and a little plastic pot, which I know some of you have seen and laughed me do, I can now set it up properly. And so it gives a much better angle, and the lighting is much better because I'm not facing it directly at the window. So while my daughter was doing some of her homework and bookwork check, and she's biology and maths homework to do, I decided to do some tidying up in the kitchen. So the kitchen's not bad at all. Just needed to spend a bit of time just tidying around, putting things away and having a sort out. And then one of my followers, so please comment if it was you, but made a comment about the pot in the corner, which has got all the utensils. And she said, do you use all those utensils? And I thought, good question. At some point, I'm going to do a sort out. So you'll see on the video, I go through all the utensils, I clean the inside of the pot, I dry the inside of the pot. I found that I'd got 3 can openers. One I know really doesn't work well. You know, it took me about 30 minutes to undo a can of tuna the other day. So I put that in the bin. I've got those 3 of those like spatulas that are sort of made of a rubbery type material. My oldest one is all split and damaged, and one of them has got a bent handle. So I put them 2 in the bin. And I've got 3 pizza cutters, you know, the roller ones. But we decided that we would keep them because they all work fine. And sometimes when we're cutting pizzas, it's, you know, we need 2 at a minimum anyway, because one with cheese and one without cheese. And also we take one of them on holiday. So we did decide to keep all them, but I left them to one side and then asked my husband about them. I'm a bit annoyed with myself. Well, very annoyed with myself. I'd got some spare bolognese. That I hadn't done it very nicely because there was too much onion in it. But my husband said he didn't fancy it the other night, and I said to him, oh, you put it in the freezer then. And he forgot and I forgot. So I thought that was still going to be okay. I smelt it and it was absolutely fine. But then when I looked, I could see there was a tiny bit of mould on the top. I really hate wasting food. So I put that in a food bag and just washed up the saucepan. You can see also that I'm starting to collect a few things on the corner of the work surface on the left there. So I do need to just keep on top of that and make sure that's sorted. And then my dad, when he came round, he'd got a old Christmas present for my daughter that he'd got. They're pyjamas, they're Christmas pyjamas, aged 10 to 11. So she's not going to wear Christmas pyjamas now, but hopefully they won't be too small for her this December. Although, to be honest, some of her clothes, although she's quite small for her age, she's got like clothes at 11 to 12 that are getting a bit small. I guess some children who are bigger will be wearing age 13 to 14, 14 to 15 and so on. So you can see I've got a lot of utensils there. There was one utensil that I have which you can use to lever a jar, which is difficult to undo. Now, sometimes I've had jars like of beetroot or of onions, and if my husband's in Ipswich, I can't undo them. It's so frustrating. I always think, like, why have they done them up so tightly? If I was like much older, you just wouldn't be able to undo them. So I've got a little contraption that fits on top of the jar. I got it from an old, I can't think, it's a family member, I think, in a house clearance, I think. I don't use it very often, but I do need to keep that. But I decided it didn't need to go in my pot. It could go in my junk drawer. But I'm going to sort my junk drawer out when I get to 2,000 followers. So watch this space. And now I've got my tripod, well, I can do much better angles so that what I'm doing can be seen easily. Then after I've done this, cleaned out the container, put all the things back, and you can see I lay on the side the things that I'm potentially going to get rid of. Oh, also I had 3 tea strainers, and I was about to give one to charity, but then when I looked, it had actually got a slightly bigger hole in. I thought there's no point giving that to charity because the charity just going to put it in the bin. So that is what I've done. I've put it in the bin. No point having 3, is there? We don't have loose tea. Very, very rarely do we have loose tea. The only thing I'd really use it for is sometimes I make myself sort of like herbal drinks where I do mixes and matches of all different things for myself. So I might use it for that. So I didn't want to get rid of them all. Actually, I probably only need 1, don't I? Rather than 2. But anyway, I got rid of 1. And then the other spares I just left on the side and did a bit more washing up. And then after this, I move on to the dining room. And I mentioned the other day about the little house that my daughter had made, the cardboard house in the dining room. A few people said, oh, it needs to be in the playroom, etc., etc. But she's finished with it now. So it only sort of lasted a week. She wants part of it, which she's had for quite a long time. That folds up and can go back into her bedroom. And the other part she's finished with. So that's now gone out into the recycling bin. She had fun with it. It's good, isn't it? Have fun with it and then get rid of it when you're finished with it. I also decided just to clean the top of the oven. Fairy liquid I've just now found now is better than any sort of sprays that cause you to wheeze and cough and cause pollution into the air. Fairy liquid absolutely does a treat. Thank you for all the people that recommended that to me. Fairy liquid also gets all the stains out. I didn't tell you, did I, on holiday, when we were all eating out on the very last evening, when my daughter had her lunchbox of food, but it was not in a restaurant, it was just a bit where anybody could eat. And we'd all ordered food that we were not very happy with, it wasn't very nice at all. And I suddenly looked at my daughter's dress, and she'd been wiping her hands all down her dress. And I said, oh, look, you don't wipe your hands on your dress. That's all grease that I'm not going to be able to get out of the dress. And my mother-in-law said, oh, yes, I saw her wiping her hands all over her dress, but I thought that was better not to say anything. So I said, oh, right. I said, well, I wouldn't have minded if you'd have said something. She said, no. She said, because that won't come out. Well, I put fairy liquid all over the bit where the grease marks were. I scrubbed it and scrubbed it and scrubbed it with the fabric together, popped it in the washing machine, and hooray, all the stains came out. So I was very pleased about that. I'll have to make sure that I tell mother-in-law when I see her next. Right, so got rid of those things. So that's just showing you what things I got rid of, which was good. And you can see the cardboard house there, and then all the washing that I'm just piling up because that's all dry. That's all ready to be put away. Quite a lot of towels there. Now, the reason why we've got so many towels at the moment being washed and dried was because of the radiator. You know, the radiator replacement in the bathroom. So we had a bit of a leak at one point and loads of towels as an emergency had to be put down. And then we've had a few towels sitting round because there was like a tiny little drip, drip, drip leak that my husband was dealing with. But now it's all fitted and I'm really pleased with it. The holes which are on the tiles, he managed to get like some plastic discs, so that's covered it all. So he's done a good job of that, considering we couldn't get a radiator to match up exactly. So I'm hanging out some white washing, which is wet and I need to get dry. I did think about putting it outside because it's been really windy today. A really good breeze, but it's so cold. I thought it feels like it's going to freeze. It's like last night when I went with my friend to the restaurant. When we came out of the restaurant, I'd got like my spring type coat on. Honestly, it really felt like winter. I love there's that poem, isn't there, where it said, oh, it's that time of year where it was summer in the sunshine and like winter in the shade. This is exactly what it's like at the moment. So yeah, our old radiator box has gone out into recycling. The jigsaw puzzle with the missing pieces has also gone into recycling. Very sad about that, but I've had that for about 2 years and I've not been able to find the missing pieces. So how long do you keep it for? So I've got rid of that. I do find most of my followers are women. So I'm going to say this and hope that you understand. I find that at certain times of the month, I find it much easier to get rid of things. So like at other times of the month, I wouldn't have been able to get rid of that puzzle. I wouldn't have been able to get rid of some of the other things that I've got rid of. But I've been able to, certain times of the month, I can just get rid of so much. So there must be something hormonal which makes us keep hold of things or feel quite happy to get rid. So you can see where I am there by the piano, there's Easter things that need to be put away, so I was piling those up. And there's also the books that I took out of the cabinet that need to be put in the bookcase because the books belong in the bookcase. I'm getting better putting things where their homes are. And you can see I've got quite a few Easter things still on the table and other things that need to be put away. A number of you will ask me, what is that on the fireplace? They are my dark-winged beetles. I don't talk much about them because I know some people a bit squirmish, don't like that sort of thing. If you have got any questions, feel free to ask in the chat and I'll reply, but I don't want to talk too much about them because that'll put some people off. The piano has also got a number of things on that need to be cleared. I really, really dislike it when the piano is used as a table and stuff's just dumped on there. I really dislike that, so I need to clear that. And there's some other things that just, needed to be put back where they belong. That's some craft items on the table as well, and I just sort of piled all the mats up so they're all sitting together. There's a Lego set that my daughter is still finishing off. So when she finishes that, I'm going to put the flowers that she's created out of Lego in a vase. So that'll look pretty. And then the books there by the piano, I thought, well, let me take them through to the lounge. They can go on the bookcase when I get a chance to do that. And then towards the end of the video, I start work on the little bookcase that is in my hall. Now, I really like this. My mum, this is vintage, probably 1960s maybe, don't know, 1970s. I don't think it's earlier than that. But my mum bought this for me. I saw it in a charity shop when I hadn't long been at our very first house. And she said, oh, I could get that for you for your birthday if you like it. And it's moved from our other house and it now sits there quite neatly. But as you can see, it's all really very much higgledy-piggledy. So I wanted to take everything off, sort through everything, and then put everything back neatly. And the funny thing was, when I watched back the videos, I realised, oh, there's the drawer at the bottom. I'd completely forgotten that drawer. So I did also come back once I thought I'd finished. I hadn't actually finished. I came back, opened those sliding doors right at the bottom and took everything out. I should think that I have not opened those sliding doors for about 8 years. But I have taken everything out. A lot of people would say, well, if you've not opened it for 8 years, what on earth are you putting the things back for? But what I'm going to do is they're all basically our favourite CDs. So we've got a CD player in the car. So I've taken about 5 out that I'm going to put in the car. And then I'm going to cycle them. I'm going to move them round. So I get some out of the put them back from the car, put them in the cabinet and move them round. So that's my plan. So you can see already on those 2 shelves there's lots in there, but it's already getting much better, much tidier and much neater, and I really want to keep it like that. So on that top shelf, that was really nice just going through that, because actually all of those books are holiday books, and they're all places that we've been to, apart from I've got 1 book on Ecuador, because Ecuador is a place that I'd really love to go. So I've got 1 book on Ecuador, but other than that, all the places I've been. So we've got Morocco, China, France, Spain, Spanish Islands, Italy, Sicily, so many different places. So that was quite nice going through there. And then I found some paperwork So I can remember when we'd been married about 2 years, I think it was. I don't know what made me think to do this, because I didn't really have any idea about booking things and so on. I wasn't really very old. But as a surprise, I booked a trip to Venice for me and my husband, and I found the receipt of the hotel. So 7 nights for £504. So the prices have changed on Venice Island. The prices have changed slightly, and also that had got the coach trip to Stansted, and I'd organised it all myself in secret. Quite impressed that I was able to do that. I reckon that was the first and the last time. I also found that the drawer had collapsed a bit, so I was then putting everything back with a shelf corrected. I think I just said drawer, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. The shelf, I meant. The little stoppers under the shelf had fallen out, and I picked up one and wondered what it was, and then I realised because the shelf was a bit wonky. Also, you can see the stuff on top of the little cabinet I need to sort. So I've got a plant there that I need to treat because it's got mealybug. I've got some containers of holy water. I've got the central heating system. Some West German pottery, which is one of my favourite things. For those of you in Germany, I absolutely love West German pottery. And then there's a few other bits that I just need to clear. So that'll be the next step. So that's less cluttered, and then it can be cleaned much easier, can't it? That's my plan. I actually enjoyed clearing this and sorting this out, and I've got a pile, which I'm going to show you right at the end of the video, of things that didn't go back to the cabinet. All things that I'm either binning, giving to charity, or putting in the car. The CDs that I'm putting in the car. I did keep calling out to my husband though, because there was lots of things that were his. Do you want the Blur CD? Do you want this game? Do you want this DVD? We've also got loads and loads of DVDs that are my daughter's, all the Disney ones. Now, a lot of things you can stream, but they're all her Italian ones. And do you know she'd forgotten that she even had them? She said, I don't remember them. I said, well, no, you were watching them when you were 2 or 3. Actually, I was so pleased today. She had her Italian lesson with a lady who lives just outside of Rome, and the lady hardly speaks any English. Certainly, I never hear her speak English to my daughter. And I was really pleased because after the lesson, she sent me a message in Italian on WhatsApp saying that she can't really believe my daughter and how excellent her Italian is, and how she's just full of wonder as to how good her Italian is. So that made me very pleased. All the effort paid off. So I was going through the next shelf and sorting through things. I found quite a lot of cases with no CDs. I found a lot of CDs with no cases, so I have put them into a certain place. So when I find the cases or find the CDs, I can then match them up again. It's frustrating when that happens. There was a couple of DVDs, and I thought, yay, I can get rid of them. But then I opened up the cases, and there were no DVDs in there. So that was a little bit frustrating, really. But I just felt like this was a good job done. There was a lot of dust as well, so it was good to be able to clean through and sort stuff. So then, I go through all the rest of the shelves, and then I do the bottom section. So all in all, I'm really pleased with what I managed to get done. And then my last video, I changed the angle slightly. So again, it's quite good, me having this new contraption. And then I'll show you right at the very end a picture and a little video of all the stuff I got rid of. So thank you very much for watching my video. Thank you for your ongoing support and encouragement, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!